My name is Adi, and just like you, I am in a human body on planet Earth, supporting the process of planetary transformation, but also personal transformation and a collective transformation. We come from all sorts of places, but all of us really came here with a mission, and that is a mission of love. It is rediscovering love for life. And I have been communicating with Divine Mother in this lifetime. And whenever I ask her what is the most important thing we can do, she says to love life. And she never talks about life that, is the 9-to-5 job, or even the little life that we live, the 60, 70, 80 years. It is the life with a capital L that is eternal, that is cosmic, that is ever expanding, and that is so beautiful. And so may this be a transmission of that love. It was one of my gifts that my guides shared with me for this lifetime, and that was to create videos or to speak, to transmit a certain frequency of source and creation. We live in such an incredibly complex, multi-dimensional reality. And maybe some of you see it, some of you have witnessed it, experienced it, and maybe some of you absolutely never had, a mystical experience. And it's all good because it's happening for all of us anyway. I found that meditation definitely opened many doors to many different dimensions. But in the end, all this adventure comes down to that. Can we love life? And I guess loving life doesn't come so easily when we have a narrow focus. So if we focus very narrowly on the human experience here, then we might find very few reasons to love that life. But if we really open our minds and open our hearts, which is even more important, and we allow this vastness to kind of flow in, and we open up to it so freely and become so empty to it, and we become part of this river of life, then we realize there is so much to love. As it is eternal, it is unlimited, it is so blissful, and it is all about just opening up. Opening up really comes down to opening up the heart. So how can we open up that heart? We've been here on this planet for a very long time. We had many experiences. We also obviously reincarnated. And many of these experiences were a mixture of heart opening, but also heart closing that comes through suffering and pain and disappointment and betrayal and all those things that shut the heart. But we can actually ask the heart to open again, and that would be our ascension process. I find from communicating with Divine Mother in many of her forms that what we would call ascension comes down to our opening of the sacred portal in our hearts. And so how do we get back to that state of love? Some call it Christ consciousness. We can give it different names, but you know what love is, and you know what love is not. And so we can start by choosing love. And when we choose love, we can start by choosing love for life, which surrounds us in all forms. And even something as little as, you might say, okay, I'm going to be pro-life. I will not support the killing of any animals for any dietary preferences. And so that, you might think, is a very small step. But actually, it's a very big kind of sign to this larger life that your heart opened up so much that you decided to embody compassion for other parts of life. That's really a big step, actually, because it's a step towards oneness. Oneness, as you know, is something, again, that kind of got lost here on planet Earth. But again, we wanted to have a lot of experiences, and all these fractals that you call you and me are here, and also other species. But when love is our guiding principle, we create this beautiful field of coherence because it just feels better, doesn't it? We all feel better in the presence of gentle love. And so we can offer it to others. We can start with the animals. I think that's easy. And then sometimes offering it to each other is not always so easy because we might rub each other the wrong way. But even then, we can be very generous. The more generous we become with life, the more generous life becomes with us. And so let's practice generosity of love. It's a state of being in the end. Once again, the mystics called it Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness, illumination, solar light body. It is all about just becoming love. And that love will be reflected back to us, because in the end, everything is reflected back to us. Divine Mother is a big reflector, and she always would love to reflect love to us. But we always receive a reflection of our own being, and so the more we can liberate ourselves from judgment, it is not about being indifferent to the suffering of others or suffering any part of life. Actually, those experiences kind of awaken the heart. And if they awaken the heart properly, then they always awaken us to act with love. And not through fight, but through envisioning what love would do next. And sometimes Divine Mother tells me little things like, just ask yourself when you are choosing some tea to drink or a cup, you have many cups at home, which one do you love the most? And choose that love. Which tea do you love drinking the most? And choose that tea. And that is the choice of love. It is also following, this river of life that moves through you. And some people, beings, mystics, teachers who came before us said, follow your bliss. And following our bliss is always a wise choice, as long as our bliss is truly the bliss of the heart and not bliss of, some lower kind of attachments and senses. But when we follow the bliss of the heart, we always are this Christ in this world, the one who loves, the one who spreads love, the one who illuminates, the one who's a little bit more relaxed than everyone else. Because in this world, we became a little too uptight. And so as everyone's walking around with this kind of, hidden nervousness and kind of tension, it often gets released, right? And if it doesn't get released through us, we suppress it, or the elements take it on, as the fire element, water element, and the weather elements, all of them. And so how can we liberate the being from within? I guess that's always been the question of the mystics. The liberation comes only with love. It's not in the mind so much. In the mind, we have this amazing power of imagination and creativity. And one way to describe this world is as if you were God. You create a cosmos with multiple universes, and you said to all beings, you are dreamers. And then you would have zillions of beings dreaming, and dreaming beautiful things into being, beautiful worlds, beautiful experiences, completely unlimited. And then suddenly, for some reason, some beings would choose to have nightmares. And then more and more beings were infected by this virus of a nightmare. And then suddenly you would have a world where 8 billion beings are having a virus nightmare. And this has nothing to do with COVID. It's just another way of describing what happened. So we have 8 billion kind of infected beings who are dreaming a nightmare of a world with toxic this and toxic that, exploited planet, not really a lifestyle that suits anyone, monetary system that doesn't really suit anyone either, and all the systems that go with it, like the control systems that we call governments. So we are just dreaming this nightmare. And that's why Divine Mother always says, wake up, my children, wake up. And she will wake us up, but we could also wake up with her and first surrender to her, which is surrendering to love. And then realize we've been dreaming a dream that really didn't serve anyone, and we don't like it. I don't know anyone who likes it. But we live in a beautiful world where we have a beautiful sky, we have beautiful animals, so many beautiful species, such a beautiful planet that we are upon the beautiful waters, the beautiful places and forests and all of that. And it is up to us to wake up and say, no more distraction, no more this power, greed, no more. We are the guardians of this earth. We must stand up. We must stand up for the mother as she awakens in our own bodies these days. You know, we are in this incredible process of actually physical transformation, and you are surely feeling it. We are coming up to what we call winter solstice, which is a very important point in space and time when it comes to our position with the galactic core and all these beautiful celestial bodies. But we must stand up for life, and life being the goddess life, and say no more shall she be exploited. She can sustain some human activity as long as we are sustainable. And so maybe we are hoping for a miracle. I hope it comes. But if it doesn't come, then let us just be more loving with ourselves, with this world, with the animals, with the 5 elements, with the earth herself. And then let us stand up for life. Life is not controlling. If we see control in this world that does not come from love, it does not come from the principle of Divine Mother or our Divine Father. So the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, it's not about control at all, but definitely mighty powers of love. And with that, let us enjoy this amazing moment. We are embodied here in our beautiful physical bodies, having a beautiful experience. And as always, with every experience we have, it is reasonable to leave the world in a better state than we found it in. So to add our love, to be brave, to stand up for what is love, and I would call love that which is right. Many blessings to all of you.